Paper moon, it's the paper moon. Need some cool books, look no further than the paper moon. This is an unpaid advertisement. Paper, paper, paper moon. That's the end of the song.
What's happening, everybody? My name is Joshua,
My name is Eric.
and this is Live from the Moon,
Hell
where we
yeah.
chat with local artists we love to find out why they're so cool.
Hell yeah.
During our first episode, we thought it would be fun to test the equipment by introducing ourselves and chat about what we would like this podcast to be about. Eric, why don't you start us off by introducing yourself?
Yeah. I one day will get very good at intros to myself. I'm a writer is just kind of how I tag things. Currently holding down a bunch of stuff in local media. I have some new news that I don't think I can announce on record quite yet. But I put a book out a month ago. I keep doing that. I put out a newsletter doing stuff similar to this, just highlighting local artists and things. I think of myself as a storyteller in the Benjamin sense, but I feel like that's the kind of intro I can only give at like colleges in the Netherlands. I think would fuck with that pretty hard.
Cool. Now, is this your first time hosting a podcast?
This is my first official-ish time hosting a podcast. When I was a very young writer, when I was like 13, I had a friend who like owned this very extensive comic collection, a family friend, and he and a few of his friends wanted to do a comics podcast, and they were like, they knew me as a rapper at that point, and they were like, he must have audio equipment, and I did not, but I learned enough to get by. And then a couple years ago, I did a project with Mike Lanny and Devin Borden, I don't know what his Spotify is anymore, called How to Rap, which was just, it was me attempting to introduce literary theory to a world that I don't think was quite ready for it. But yeah, we just went over the lifestyle and techniques of a rapper and how those things work and why multisyllabic rhymes don't make you dope necessarily, which is a lesson I think I still have to teach.
Where now, what are some of your favorite podcasts?
I listen to 2 podcasts like religiously, like enough so that I go back to them. One is Behind the Bastards, which Alex, my girlfriend, showed me, which is just a deep dive into the worst people in history, including Vince McMahon, which we'll talk about later. They did a 6-part series on him. And then another called If Books Could Kill, which is put out through a podcast network I can't remember the name of, but they cover pop psych books and just kind of tear them apart as much as they can. Like you've probably heard of like Atomic Habits, right? The core principle of Atomic Habits is just the idea of interest accruing, which is not applicable to skills, actually. You can't get 1% better at skills every day. So I find that very helpful. And then a bunch of random one-off things.
Yeah, with like the random one-offs, like what keeps you coming back to those podcasts, or like what makes a podcast good in general?
I think one of the key things I look for is just connection with the hosts. I'm a very curious person, so there's like, I don't have a limited palette in terms of what I might listen to, but who I might listen to, that I'm much more selective about. I think the biggest thing though that like really keeps me returning to something is if I feel like it's like helping me grow in some way, or just kind of meeting me at the level of my current thinking.
And then with this podcast, are there some artists that you're looking forward to interviewing?
Yeah, there are a ton. This has kind of always been a passion of mine. I love just getting to know people as deeply as I can. And there are so many artists doing great things. in the area at the moment. I think one I'm very excited for and think we'll be able to get coming up is we're gonna have to rework the set a little bit, but I want to talk to Shiloh and Mundy. I think they're doing some great things. I would love to talk more with some of the painters in the area. I'm always interested in that. Recently, I've been appreciating a lot of the mural work around downtown Troy, and asking around probably too aggressively, like, who painted that? Who do I have to talk to get to the person who painted that? Because some of them are truly incredible. Hell yeah. You ready to flip it around? Hell yeah. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I will, Eric. What's happening again, everybody? My name is Joshua, musician, most currently bookstore owner. And I've just got a passion for counterculture, and I love participating in and showcasing artists that work in counterculture spaces.
Yeah. Is this your first podcast?
It's not my first podcast. The first one I started during COVID as a way to kind of connect artists with each other, and also kind of give us kind of updates on what we were doing to get through COVID. It was a very lonely time for everybody, and I felt especially bad for the introverted artists that like their one time a month that they would go outside and like hang out with other people was taken away. So I wanted to kind of like bring artists into people's living rooms and let everybody know that how we're feeling, whether it be weird, indifferent, good, bad. I just wanted to connect local people with their local artists.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite podcasts which inspire you?
Yeah, I listen to mostly drag queen podcasts. Drag queens are the most entertaining people on the planet. I love queer culture in general because the language is always changing, the fashion is always changing, the music tastes are always changing. So, as like the resident straight guy, I just like I love being tapped into different queer cultures.
Yeah.
So yeah, Willem and Alaska have an amazing podcast and podcast network where they chat with a bunch of different people, and just in general they're just two of the most hilarious, quick people I've ever heard in my life. So I listen to them on a daily basis as like my comfort.
Have you picked up a copy of Bob the Drag Queen's book yet?
No, I haven't yet, but it definitely sounds interesting.
Yeah.
It's like a interesting concept. What if Harriet Tubman wrote a rap album? Yeah,
It's so good. Just that alone. So what to you makes a good podcast? What keeps you listening?
I like engaging hosts. I like hosts with a lot of things to say. It's kind of different how like the way I kind of situate my podcast is that the hosts are very much just facilitating. But I like podcasts where the two hosts are sometimes even more entertaining than their guests.
Yeah.
So with this podcast and most podcasts I produce, I try to invite people that are more entertaining or more interesting than I am. So that's like what I'm kind of going for with this podcast.
I often feel that way coming off of doing shows. People will compliment me on my set, and I'm like, no, you gotta, like, my friends though were much more interesting than me. In the vein of that, who are you excited to get on?
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to a lot of the young musicians that are roaming around our scene right now. One specifically is this drummer, Joe Tyrone, who's in like 15 different bands, and they also record a ton of people, and they're super young. So like, I just wanna find out just like everything that he was inspired by, what recordings he likes. And then, yeah, actually just kind of just going off the cuff and just like really just like getting to meet people in our scene is going to be really exciting to do.
Hell yeah. Do you want to talk about your bookstore quick?
Yeah, so we're inside Paper Moon right now. Opened Paper Moon a year ago as a way to promote local zine culture. I was just, as a zine fan myself, as like an indie publishing fan myself, I just felt myself going to bigger cities to find local zines. So yeah, so all my favorite zines were from just, I don't know, not locally. So I wanted to build a place where I could harbor like a local publishing environment. And yeah, the past year has been so much fun. Yeah, I can't wait to see what comes next, which is I can't wait to see what people publish next. Like every day, someone brings in something that is pretty amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge shout outs to Anna Boltwood, who is another person I'm very excited. Anytime I get time to talk with Anna about the process of creating these, is like my favorite hour of the week.
Right. And that was like the major inspiration for this space.
Yeah.
Because I could say, Anna, bring in your zines, I'll have them in the store. And to put that weight off of Anna or any other creator, like Anna doesn't have to go door to door handing out their zines. They can just come through one door,
Yeah.
and then which will expose them to all the different people that come into the shop. So yeah, big up Anna for making those zines.
Anna, Fuck City, so many cool things going around.
Yeah, Sanctum Magazine is also doing some really great stuff. So yeah, it'll be great to get them on the show too.
Yeah.
They started off as just promoters, promoting local shows in like mostly basement spaces, as like college kids are wont to do.
Mhm.
So yeah, they were able to turn their basement music scene into a basement music zine. So yeah, they're on like issue 4 or 5 right now, and yeah, every issue they kind of like one up themselves. So
P's and Q's has been great too.
P's and Q's also very cool, like fashion, like pop fashion zine. Most zines you get in are very just like, I don't know, alternative and traditional ways. Like, but with P's and Q's, they're alternative in like a modern pop way.
So yeah, and it reminds me so much of like websites I probably shouldn't have been able to access as a child.
That's the funny thing too, because the kids who are making the zine are definitely too young to have
Oh my god,
experienced like late 90s, early 2000s aesthetic, but the fact that that culture of the way some people have described it as kind of just like lost internet, or when people were making like custom websites just to have their art on it, or like the blog scene.
GeoCities. Yeah. Here's a sentence I'm too young to say. One of the contributors to P's and Q's is a former student of mine.
Nice.
And I saw their name and I was like, no fucking way. No way that happened.
Yeah, I've had that. I've had a few teachers come in here when then they look on the wall and it's like, oh, that's my student stuff.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah.
So with that, it's time for an ad read.
Cool.
Are you tired of the same old dusty paperbacks? Then zip on down to Paper Moon Bookstore, where every shelf is an adventure. Located at 42 4th Street in downtown Troy, Paper Moon's got spine-tingling horror from Clash Books, globe-trotting tales from Archipelago, eye-popping art books from P.S. Hudson, and so much more. Are magazines your thing? They've got the latest from Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Essence, Rolling Stone, Aperture, Paris Review, The Drift, and more, hot off the press. Don't settle for the ordinary. Step into the extraordinary at Paper Moon Bookstore. That's 42 4th Street, downtown Troy. See you there. We're back with Live from the Moon, and Josh has magically turned into Justin. That's how queer we are. I'm here with Justin, aka Reckless Barb. Barb, do you want to run a quick introduction of yourself?
Hey, my name is Reckless Barb. My real name is Justin. You can call me whatever. And I'm excited to be a part of this. This is really cool to be a part with Josh and Eric and the Paper Moon people. Truly one of my favorite places that I've gotten to know over the last year since its conception.
A second home.
Truly.
You've got an album on the way.
Yeah, first single's out May 9th. Just put that in today.
Hell yeah.
Formatting a little outreach to try and get some press, try and get some, whatever light waves I can make in my own little way. But I'm sure this will come out after. I got a little paint and puff and paint, if you will, over at Context Collective. Hey.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Shout out Context Collective.
Cool cats at Context Collective. Artist reception this Friday, but maybe last Friday, maybe a few Fridays ago.
There will be some coverage of it in Capital Art, the newsletter that I do kind of aside this. It's probably how a fair amount of people will encounter this part of the podcast. So, is this the first podcast that you've produced?
No. I did in 2019. I did my first little podcast experiment. Did a couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It was called The Modern Man. Had a cool little intro, and we interviewed a professor of religious studies from Manhattan College. That was out in Albany. I was doing that. And then I did, I've done several short runs of episodes here and there over the years. But yeah.
Scattered projects. Are you a regular podcast listener?
Yeah, I was an Uber driver for a little bit, and that was my day. My day would fly by.
Yeah. Which podcast are you or were you regularly listening to?
Definitely have an embarrassing amount of Joe Rogan under my belt. But Tim Dillon is my true favorite, if I'm going to be honest here. Other than that, I'm trying to step out of the podcast zone, listening wise. I think I kind of overdid it for a bit. So I'm getting into audiobooks again, which is exciting.
Which audiobooks are in the library at the moment?
I just went to storytelling audiobooks, trying to learn more about storytelling these days. So taking that in, just got through Become Who You Are, I think, by Alan Watts.
Yeah. What makes a good podcast?
Definitely, that's an interesting question. I think there's a lot of things that make good podcasts. I can see why people like certain things, but for me personally, I think that when it's you're really hearing people's thoughts kind of projected into space and into your ears somehow. And I love when people get really human, they get down to it, they strip a couple layers down from a normal interaction. You're really talking to the essence of people. Yeah. Shout out real quick, one that I recently got into again, the Duncan Trussell podcast. That guy, he kind of does that in a way that's very interesting. But yeah, I think that's really, that's what does it for me.
Is there anyone you're excited for us to have on?
Oh my God, I'm stoked to just be around creative people and hear what everyone's up to, man. People are doing some cool stuff. I feel blown away all the time, honestly.
Yeah, me too. There's just so much cool shit going on. Other than the album, is there anything you're working on right now?
Too much stuff. Keep your eyes peeled for some type of iteration of Reckless Barb Productions. Got a lot of visual content coming out. Been doing some music video content with other artists and working with a couple different bands and artists now too, which is exciting. Filmed a little documentary about music festival food vending last year. That was really cool. And just working on that, trying to figure out logistics, how I want to be known up there. But the album I'm shifting actually into album mode now as I the singles coming out. I'm getting very excited about it. Doing a little live thing next month. Getting stoked about music.
Have you figured out how to strap a GoPro to a dog yet?
That is the goal, and it's not as easy as you would think because dogs, they're just too excited. And when you got work with
They
something
are,
two-sided,
yeah.
it's like, you know.
And they never want to wear clothes. Every dog is a nudist.
Yeah.
I met one dog who really fucks with sweaters. He was a Chihuahua.
Chihuahua, that's because he was cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be. I think it's unethical to have a Chihuahua in New York.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
I mean,
Have you ever seen a New York Chihuahua and thought, like, that dog's thriving?
not in the winter.
Yeah,
Summertime, though, ooh, window down? Come on.
that's true. Now that we've got that, that excellent content out of the way, we're going to throw to another quick ad. And then Josh and I will be back to talk about some stuff ongoing. Some current events, as my 9th grade history teacher called it.
Hold the phone, book lovers. It's a double whammy from Hell Yeah Lit Publishing as they celebrate their very first year. First up, it's Mid-20s by Eric Turner. 120 pages of raw, emotional, angsty brilliance straight from the heart. And don't miss Paper Moon Magazine Issue 4, a dazzling collection of poetry, prose, and art from over 20 local artists. Snag them both today at hellyeahlit.com. That's HELLYEAHLIT.com. And get your hands on some bold, fresh, and unforgettable.
Side effects may vary. Hell yeah. And we are back once again live from the moon. Hell yeah.
Eric, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now.
Yes, yeah. Way too much. I think we should cut through it and talk about the really important stuff.
Yeah.
The Minecraft movie is a fucking masterpiece.
Tell me about it,
Just
Eric.
the number one, the greatest piece of American cinema. So you might have heard of the Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Right.
right? But you know how we hit a point like 5 to 8 years ago where the most boring person in your friend group got really into it?
I guess, yeah.
A Minecraft movie is the Rocky Horror Picture Show for people who have actual fun and not like socially approved fun, right? It's the kind of movie that if you look at someone's social media and you're like, they only have like 100 followers, I don't know about them, you're going to hate it. And that's fine. It's unabashed commercialism. It's not even an ad. It's just like capitalizing on 15 years of like passionate love. Jack Black is there just being Jack Black. He got to do nothing interesting. He just screams. Children are fucking loving it. Right? And
Yeah.
that to me is the core of the human soul, you know? I just wrote this piece about Valora and her art and how you can tell that she started from a young age because you see her over time working back to the purity of soul that a child has. And when she finally arrives there, that's a really beautiful moment. And the Minecraft movie got to skip all of that labor and make Jason Momoa and Jack Black 69 and then go flint and steel, and it just worked. It's perfect. That's not me exaggerating. There's a scene in that movie where Jack Black and Jason Momoa mid-air like twist around to be in a 69 position, and then the narrative like threat of it is that they have to get closer and closer. So you get these like close-up shots of Jack Black's face just in Jason Momoa's groin. That's why we started art. We can be done now.
Right. So yeah, it's super interesting watching watching art that you've been just like aged out of for just like so long become like start from scratch and then go get more and more and more and more popular. Like
Yeah.
I would just, walking around Target, all of a sudden there's Minecraft toys. I'm like, I don't know what that's about, but good luck to them. And then from like the toys to like the t-shirts, and then like once I love going into like bootleg t-shirt shops
Mm-hmm.
where I can get like Bugs Bunny that looks like Louis Vuitton t-shirts,
Yeah.
and just like
If you see the cops coming, warn a brother.
yeah, all that. I
Fucking
love-
classic.
So like once I started seeing Minecraft stuff being like bootlegged, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I still don't know what this is, but I guess is getting more and more popular, and now just being like steamrolled by like a major blockbuster motion picture. Still, I have no idea what is going on, why people are screaming and burning it down theaters. But like, good for them. And like, so yeah, I think we personally talked about this movie like for a few weeks or since it came out in theaters, and yeah, I haven't interacted with it yet. I downloaded the app on my phone, and then I played a soccer game,
Yeah.
which was like me against somebody, and I was playing soccer. So is the movie about soccer? Probably not.
No. It's, I think, technically an isekai movie, although that might be a term that we only apply to anime, where Jack Black has been transported into the Minecraft world because he yearned for the mines for his entire childhood and was not allowed. And so he goes to Minecraft world, gets stolen by an angry pig witch, and he has to return his like portal thing to the real world, where it's found by Jason Momoa, 2 children I don't know the names of, and Danielle, last name I can never remember. And they go to rescue Jack Black because of his Minecraft wolf. The B plot is that a Minecraft villager, which are people in the game who you can like trade with, but they don't talk. They just go, "Huh." One of them also steps through the portal, but to get to Earth, and then gets hit by Jennifer Coolidge, and then they fall in love. They have like a full romance plot between the two of them, where only Jennifer Coolidge has speaking lines. It includes my favorite actual joke of the movie, but like, I don't want to spoil it.
I love the fact that, well, so like Minecraft itself, like the app or whatever where Minecraft lives, one of like the most interesting parts about it that I found was that it encourages like creator creations.
Yeah.
Like its creators to like create their own games. So I kind of think it's funny how just like studio executives took this like intellectual property and kind of created their own like mythology to like something that like it existed but didn't have a mythology. It would have been like with like, all right, yeah, I'm an old head, so He-Man toys.
Yes.
It would be like if they created the He-Man toys first without a storyline,
Yes.
and then like later kind of like put a storyline on top.
Well, I think the thing that's particularly interesting in the case of Minecraft, I weirdly compare this to the way hip hop handles reality, right? Like, we all know Ice Cube wasn't like committing a ton of crimes, but we're all willing to kind of suspend that disbelief and be like, yeah, Ice Cube, you're totally a gangster.
Yeah, well, I mean, YSL, y'all were supposed to be telling tall tales.
Yes. And that's the thing, is like, you kind of create this collective non-reality, and we can get into like dialectical arguments about like, if we've all made up the same thing, isn't that the same thing as it being real, right? Minecraft exists as the game, but it also existed as this like internet subculture kind of running through everything. So I think I'm one of the like later ages of person where like I don't know someone in my grade in high school who didn't play Minecraft, right? And not only play it, but there was so many Minecraft YouTubers and then streamers, all these different memes that spawned from it, like Children Yearn for the Mines, right? Things like that, that became their own culture. So I think like one of the more sincerely nice points of the movie is there's a Minecraft YouTuber called Technoblade, who his avatar was a Minecraft pig with a crown. And Technoblade, quite tragically, and also with the most swagger of all time, died over the course of a prolonged fight with cancer. And he pre-recorded months of YouTube content.
Wow.
Right? So that when he died, his family had time to grieve before it was public. And he very famously would tag his videos by saying Technoblade will never die, and then fucking died, right? And there's a scene in the movie where they like pass by a pig that happens to have a crown on, and one of the children is like, oh, what is that? Is he some sort of king? And Jack Black, very Jack Blackingly, goes, no, he's a legend, and like throws up rock hands. I was in a theater of like 15-year-olds,
Wow.
most of whom probably like they couldn't access YouTube when Technoblade was at his peak. They lost their fucking mind. Like,
That's so interesting to me. Like I can't even really think off the top of my head of like kind of like the fans of something like creating the lore,
yeah,
like and just like with Mario or whatever. There's just like ironclad,
yep.
just lore.
His name is
even-
Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then for this, like, it's like a blank slate kind of video
Yeah.
game to then take on a mind of its own, like, and then drawing inspiration from the actual players.
It
It
was
was
so-
actually, pretty inspiring stuff.
so inherently communal too, in a way that like it's a way that I bring together groups of my friends when I am like trying to introduce people to each other or whatever. I jump straight to like, all right, let's all get on a Minecraft server, because you like we see this in the arts, and it's the thing that I think we're always trying to celebrate is like Minecraft is like a video game jam band. You know, like your friend builds a bridge, and now you build the thing on the other side of the bridge, or you build a troll under it, and you get to just interact at the point of imagination. I find that,
And that's like a cool like pivot
Yeah.
for like artists to even think about, because I feel like most artists are trying to trick their fans, and so it's like, oh yeah, you liked the last album, how about if I do something totally different? And it's like, you know, and it's not really like to trick the audience per se. It's mostly about just artists being actual humans. And so
Yeah.
by the time you heard the last album, that artist already listened to it like thousands of times, and now like in order to take like another step forward, they have to like, you know, change some things up. But yeah, I really like this concept of just like crowdsourced,
yeah,
like
yeah,
like the crowdsourcing kind of like develops the art. Kind of like, what's that that pop star that's like mostly like computer generated?
Oh, Hatsune Miku.
Yeah.
yeah. Miku people are crazy. Like that's, and I get it. The rare few like anime-esque people where I'm like, no, I have blanket respect for you. You know. Yeah, you wanted to talk about Coachella?
Yeah, Coachella. This was last weekend. I tapped in from my phone, as I love to do, because I love seeing. Because the great thing about seeing artists at Coachella is that like, they're paid really well.
Yep.
They get great housing. It's like, so you're seeing an artist like that is happy.
Yeah.
For one, so that's great to see.
Yeah.
And you're seeing like with some production budget as well. So headlining last Friday night was Lady Gaga, and yeah, it's always super interesting to see how she like develops her stage show.
Yeah.
So this show, she decided to make an opera house, and she also made a chessboard, and there was like sand, and then there was confronting all of her past selves. And yeah, she's one of the best millennials we've got out there
Oh yeah.
doing the work.
The queen of the millennials.
The queen of the
Yeah.
millennials, for real. And then like on a total opposite stage, it was the Misfits.
Yeah.
With Danzig singing, and I always love seeing, you know, our fathers of rock and roll performing on huge stages in front of an audience of like 20-year-olds. So, and yeah, with the best part about the Misfits and Danzig specifically, because his mic was live 20, the whole time
Yes.
is that, they don't really have like the stage couth of like current 20-year-olds.
No.
Like, even like Lady Gaga, her whole thing is like, like self-empowerment, and it's really joyful, and with dancing, he's just like in a fight with the sound guy the whole show. So just like, usually, and this is like a lesson for all musicians, all musicians out there, like if something sounds off, like say it off the microphone.
Yes.
Like whisper it to
Oh
somebody.
my God, yes.
Because if you announce on the microphone that something sounds fucked up, then like all the people are gonna, then you've just triggered the audience to just listen to things that are fucked
Yeah.
up. But but I love dancing for that.
This is I have to tell the first mom story of the pod. Last summer, my mom and my stepdad went to a horror festival, and Danzig was there, and my stepdad wanted to meet him, and my mom was in line, and apparently the line got too long, and so she like turns around, she's like, whatever, that guy's a fucking asshole anyway. And this random stranger, in my mom's perspective, is like, I don't think he's that much of an asshole. And my mom goes, have you met him? And he goes, yeah, I'm the one who runs his social media, so I see all the comments about him people make. And my mom goes, that must be bad for your mental health. You want to go get lunch? And she like came back. She called me that night. She was like, you will not believe what I said today. She's like, my mouth keeps getting me in trouble. Do you follow festival culture? Like, or just Coachella?
Oh yeah, all the festivals.
Yeah.
Just being in just a music fan in
Yeah.
general. I love seeing who's like headlining these festivals. It's a really good quick snapshot into kind of like who's popular right now. If you stopped listening to music 5 years ago and then you just pull up, the Coachella poster,
Yeah.
that gives you a pretty good snapshot of what people are listening to today. It's like Gaga, Charlie XCX, a bunch of EDM still, and like the Misfits.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
and Green Day, people just like love Green Day so much. It's like, and it's funny because like they were my favorite band growing up. I saw them at RPI in like 93 or 94.
Hell yeah.
And like so like I listened to them so much that I had to like put it down for like the past 25 years. So
Yeah.
like tuning in to see them like headlining over Charlie XCX was really interesting, and
Yeah.
filled my heart with joy.
I'm always curious with those shows, how they're being structured out. But I was never a big like follower of festival culture. I think only because I very quickly gravitated towards being a shitty hipster,
Too cool for festivals.
Not even too cool for it so much as like I like dirty, grimy shows,
What about Maryland Death Metal Fest, where it's like
That's-
200 death metal bands in Maryland? So like it's like I not only follow like
Yeah.
the biggest, like the like Bonnaroo and Coachella, and like even like Electric Zoo. I love like checking out the lineup for that. But then even more is like European music festivals.
Yeah.
I love giving myself FOMO for like the absolute epic metal festivals that happen in Europe. It'll be like every new metal band from the 90s plus Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden plus like My Chemical Romance, and that'll all be like on one stage.
Yeah.
And I love those festivals like that as well.
Yeah, they do a bunch of sick stuff like that. Are you going to be with Wavy at the Hangar?
Yeah, so speaking of music festivals, I'm participating in one on May 3rd with the Wavy Cunningham All-Star Funk Band. So that's
Hell
going to
yeah.
be sick. The point of that festival is my good friend Kim puts together these festivals, and she should call them Kim Fest, but she doesn't because she's humble. uh, so it's called like Spring Fest or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's myself playing drums with the Wavy Cunningham band, and then there's also like local metal band Ice Queen, local ska band Girth Control,
Wait, they're a
local
ska band?
yeah.
I thought they I
They're like
heard about them because they were doing a metal fest.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're like one of the only ska bands in the area.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, the point of that fest was to get a bunch of artists of different
Yeah.
genres together. So so
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun.
I believe Kim said different genres and ages was something she was considering. I think that's something I'm hearing a lot of people talk about. I was surprised. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, "Yeah, I hadn't heard of No Fun really." They were like, "I've passed by it. I didn't know it was a music venue." And I was like, "How?"
Yeah, I know,
Like,
that's wild to
yeah.
me. Being a business owner the past year, I've had to like tap into like different corners of social media, Reddit in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the interesting thing about Reddit is people will ask all the time, like, "Hey, I read that there's a cool thing happening at No Fun. Whether like I heard that there was a cool goth night, or I heard that there is a cool dance night," and then it'll like ask the community, "What do you think about No Fun?" Instead of actually just going.
Yeah.
So
You would think people would have a little bit more curiosity.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it's like I don't know what it is.
I'll do a little bit of scouting if I'm going somewhere I've like never really touched. Like, it's also, if you're considering going to No Fun, you've at least driven through downtown Troy. There was something that came up, like an author talk that was in Castleton, and I was like, can I eat there? Like, all I know about Castleton is that it's usually called Castleton on the Hudson. So I'm like, I don't know if they have like food or like, you know.
That's a thing. I don't like. Yeah, there's gonna like I haven't been there, but there's probably some food somewhere.
Yeah, you have to be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think I have a slightly different perspective on it because I'm such a like I know a guy, you know. I'm always reaching out to somebody to be like, hey, like, I've heard about this thing. I got a call today from a friend involved in some nonprofit work, and they were like, do you happen to know this person, who I don't want to name? But the answer was yes, through some entirely unrelated connections. Like, there's no way my friend could have known this. So I was like, why did you call me? And they were like, you know everyone. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll take that, I guess.
I mean, we could talk about even how we're connected.
Yes. Yeah.
through we've been talking about just like counterculture, and so I met your uncle hanging out in the mosh pits. And we just became friends because we both have the same name.
Yep.
And we're comically missized. So like I'm too short, he's too tall.
Yes.
And then when and then he would protect me in the mosh pit because I would go nuts in there. And so
I think it's good context. I'm the runt of the litter in my family. My uncle is 6'5", and at his heaviest like 290, I think. That's an estimation. I never asked him about his weight, but he was keeping up that weight as a vegetarian, and I think that's fucking impressive. Yeah. You know, you've never seen a man slam a tofurkey with such with such grace.
So it was one of those things that if I don't know. Well, I also had kind of like I was in bands when I was 16, so I would always have like a gang of people to like go to whatever. And and then the cool thing about engaging with the music scene is that like the people within the local music scene, they don't have to be your best friend that you text every day, but it could be somebody that you just see once in a while.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
To me, the friend hierarchy is like number one is people who I'm speaking to very regularly. And then number two are those people you see like every couple months at a show and you're just like best friends that night. You know, I love those people.
Yeah, it might even be like the result of COVID too, like the relationship to, like people might be, your hierarchy might like start and stop with the people who like 1000% have your back. And like start to not trust maybe like oh, who's gonna be there. And yeah, if it's at a venue that hosts music and has booze or THC seltzers or whatever, it's going to be people that like music and THC seltzers or beer. So if that's what you like,
Yeah.
you're probably going to meet somebody there that also likes that.
I was
Like
talking to
smoking
someone,
cigarettes outside too.
Yes, smoke more cigarettes. I was talking to somebody recently, and they're just back in the area, and they were like, "Yeah, like you know, it's such a struggle to make friends here," and I was like, "It can be, you know, but like
It's a struggle to make less friends.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
in this area.
And they were like, "Yeah, like I went to some bar like one time," and I was like, "You got to go 3 times." Like, you know, if I stopped going places that I go after one time, yeah, no shit, I wouldn't have friends. But like, I told someone too, I was like, that's the threshold for like, if I see you at the open mic regularly, one time I probably don't. I see a lot of people come through here. Like, I can't commit one time to memory every time.
Yeah, and also friendly is also sometimes better than friends. I'd rather have so many friendly people rather than
Yeah.
you know, I love my friends too. I
Yeah.
don't even know where I'm going with that.
No, I get you. I definitely had to scale back a little bit. Like, I had the fun ADHD manic thing where I was like, I'm going to fix everyone's seasonal depression, and we're going to do 9 million things every week. Like, I can do 2 events a night every night. I couldn't. I was wrong.
It's kind of one of the curse of like the music scene friendly people too, is that like you kind of think you're gonna see all those people at every show, but then you know, stuff happens, and
Yeah.
then I don't know, gotta make new friendly friends.
The crazy one to me is always like the people I don't meet but like know of, you know, or not don't meet, but there's so many people where like we run into each other briefly, and then
Instagram famous.
yeah, and you like never really get to know them, and I'm like, how did that even happen? You know?
No, it's yeah, it's funny seeing just like yeah, people you know just from Instagram, and maybe you've like liked each other's stories, and then it's always like oh, how do we start this conversation?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know you know me, and
Yeah.
I know you know me. I know you, and or it's
Yeah.
it's interesting. But I think we might transition to some we've got some questions.
Yeah.
So
I forgot that we had the questions.
Yeah, we asked our followers on Instagram, because we are both Instagram famous.
The most Instagram famous.
So we put it out there, and this is what we got back. So I'm going to ask you first, and then I'll answer it.
Hell yeah.
So what draws you to the local music and poetry scenes, and why did you decide to spotlight these voices?
I think for me, and this is part of my like festival thing too, the art that's within reach has always been more valuable to me than the art that I have to reach out for. Like you kind of alluded to, one of my privileges in life was that I was able to grow up as a child as part of the local music scene. And as a result of that, even as a kid, it was pretty standard to me that, like, you know, here's your uncle and a bunch of his friends. They're all in punk bands, right? Some of my earliest memories are like watching people's noses get set after they got broken in a mosh pit. And I think I developed a passion and then kind of a chip on the shoulder with regard to the importance that people place on the area and the way people talk about this. So I just noted in a piece that I have coming out that I really hate the term upstate, because upstate in New York means not New York City, which is fine. Like, I have definitely fallen victim to in the past using denigrating language about larger metropolitan areas to try and win a comparison. Only very recently have I come back to, like, you actually don't have to compare two places. Like, especially Albany and Brooklyn, you can go to Brooklyn. I could be in Brooklyn tonight if I needed to be. This area, the capital region, which is much more than not New York City, has such a unique identity. It's everyone around here makes art. Everyone works a shitty job that they wish they didn't. Like, that feels so common. So I think that to me is the big thing that makes me so active in the scene. And then I just have a curiosity. I hear someone's album or poem and I'm like, I want to know what their relationship to their dad is like. And you know, and if you have enough confidence, you can ask them. You know, I'll walk up to people at shows and I'll be like, hey, did you start when you were 19? I feel like you started when you were 19. And I've made great friends doing that. You know, how about you?
Yeah, usually I'm wrong with like trying to like, I don't know, like gauge what a musician's background was.
Oh my God, yeah.
But that's just because, you know, artists are good actors.
Yep.
I don't know. But yeah, every artist I've ever met is like the most interesting person I've also ever met. And making art is hard. And I like to talk to people that, like, regardless of like how many roadblocks there are to like making art is expensive, making art is probably not gonna make you a ton of money, making art that's not mainstream you might lose some friends because of the art you make or like the time it takes to make art. So I love talking to people about their process, but then I love also on top of that being able to share their stories with other artists. Has been even better for me. Like I talk to artists all the time, but then to be able to like share those conversations with people that might want to dip their foot into the scene or is, you know, only on the Reddit, you know, boards, just asking people like what the shows are like. So yeah, with this podcast, I'm going to be able to like say, hey, go outside and meet this person that you just heard their entire life story about.
Yeah, absolutely. The next question is, how do we discover the artist that we're highlighting?
Cool. Yeah. We're checking the flyers. But then also our cheat code is that we publish a magazine that that asks local artists to contact us. So we've just got a backlog of artists already from people we've chatted with before in the past, artists who have showcased inside my store.
Yep.
So I guess, yeah, also point of the magazine or point of the podcast is because we both run into cool artists all the time.
Yeah. And for me, I was doing artist interviews before I was doing shows. And that definitely develops a reputation of like, when I'm talking to an artist, doing an interview with them or whatever, always I'll end up getting more from that person being like, hey, you should check out this person, and just kind of like spider webbing out from there.
Nice. The next question is, how do you balance giving space to well-known local names while uplifting emerging or lesser heard voices?
I think that's part of what I was getting at with like wanting to focus around releases, because that something that can frustrate me. We had a Friday back in January where I'm guessing a lot of artists had that thought of like, I want to release more next year around New Year's. So they all worked to get this song out. And mid-January, there was one day where like 5 local rappers all put out a track. And it's like, I know that they're friends. So I was talking to a couple of them and I was like, hey, why didn't you all like coordinate a little bit? You know, maybe we don't all put out our single on the same day, or maybe we do, and maybe we make a story out of it, maybe a playlist, you know? So I think that's just kind of a natural balancing factor, is like who's doing what now. But the big thing to me is I just want to talk to people I know are dope. And we come across a balance of people. We've done people's first shows. We've done people's like 10 millionth show.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not going to be mostly about who has the most Instagram followers. It's going to be, we're going to talk to people who have the most to talk about, who have not only studied art for a long time, but then also like participated in like the local art economy by releasing things into the world, or hosting events, or being put inside galleries.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's a natural balancing factor too. Usually if somebody is unknown to me, it's because they haven't done a ton of work. And if they haven't done a ton of work, there's usually not that much to talk about. You know, like...
not that the work isn't important, and don't feel bad if you're still in the studying phase. But then don't be surprised if we're not hitting you up if you haven't released your first song yet.
Especially like we currently service, and I'm looking to service more open mics and like specific events tailored towards people who are just kind of getting their start. And you should start there. We've all seen the people who come in and are like, I'm actually a prodigy, and you're like, shut the fuck up, dude.
But then doesn't know how like the mixing board works, or like can't hold a microphone correctly.
Yeah.
So we want to talk to people who like, you know, are out and about and know how to not cup a microphone.
Yes, fucking A.
I think our last question, and then we're gonna wrap up the pod. What's one local artist whose work completely changed your perspective?
Boiling that down to one is kind of tough, because I was so deep in the scene. It's like immediately 10 names shoot to mind. Somebody I think I can point to more recently is Ayala. She's just got such a positivity and dedication, and it's something I see in that whole family. And I think that I have a natural tendency to focus on positive change through negative pathways, and Ayala reminds me constantly to take a moment and just enjoy making stuff and have fun at a show. And then earlier in life, I point a lot to Devin B., who I mentioned earlier. He's very non-commercial in his thought process, and just so capable of accessing in his music life experiences in ways that like I had not seen other people convert to music yet. And I met him at an impressionable enough age where I was like, yeah, like that's how I'm trying to be. Not entirely, you know, lessons learned, but that's the big one. How about you?
Jason the Wolfman Martin definitely has been an inspiring artist for me for as long as I've been a local artist. He not only write songs, write relatable songs, but then he also creates worlds, and it changed my relationship, I don't know, with myself, I guess, or how I saw how a music career could be. I can, I can change styles. There's no boundaries for art. And he just like reflects that in his daily life, and in his releases is always constantly changing and evolving, and
Yeah.
it's just inspiring work.
Hell yeah. Cool. Now we're gonna go Dead from the Moon. Thank you. Follow on whatever you're listening to from. Thank you to Reckless Barb. Anything else we want to come to Paper Moon? Come buy stuff. Yes.
That's Eric. That's Joshua. We're live from the moon.
Peace.
Peace.